The Tron franchise is one of Disney's live-action cult classics. Starting with the original Tron in 1982, the series has maintained critical acclaim for its groundbreaking visual effects and distinctive visual style. In that film, we see Kevin Flynn, a genius software programmer and video game developer, enter the Grid, where he works with Tron to restore freedom against a tyrannical virtual intelligence. Tron Legacy, released in 2010, shows Flynn's son Sam returning to the Grid to retrieve his lost father. The third installment, Tron Ares, releasing in October 2025 exclusively in theaters, takes the beloved characters from the Grid and brings them to the real world, marking humanity's first encounter with artificial intelligence beings. Director Joakim Rønning brings a new emotional core to the franchise with the film, something he says was lacking in the predecessors. But how does a filmmaker bring a story about artificial intelligence, special effects, and more to resonate with audiences? Let's dive in. In Tron Ares, three kinds of grids appear. The Dillinger Grid, which is a red palette that fans haven't seen in the franchise before. It's a brutalistic grid that's more chaotic and asymmetrical with the light lines. The Encom Grid is a utopian emerald vision that was born out of Tron Legacy. And the 1982 Grid, which pays homage to the original film. To film some of the grid sequences in the real world, the team shut down parts of downtown Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Vancouver is also known as Hollywood North, with many Hollywood productions going north of the border to film big-budget projects. Production shut down the famous Cambie Bridge, which connects Vancouver to downtown Vancouver, on March 14, 2024, from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. The filming notices said that filming would involve driving vehicles, motorcycles, vehicle tow rigs, and a simulated vehicle accident. But the closure of the Cambie Bridge was only one night out of a 6-week night shoot through the city streets of downtown Vancouver and neighboring neighborhoods. The team also took their production design seriously, ensuring every small detail helped add to the world building. For example, the original Tron creator, Steven Lisberger, encouraged the inclusion of digital trees, which was a concept he wanted to include in his original film, but due to the technology at the time, it was not possible. The light suits worn by the characters in the Tron universe that often resemble motorcycle suits with fluorescent-like glowing strips have taken their place in pop culture history. The original costume designs were made from spandex and old hockey helmets. Costume designer Christine Beaslin-Clark worked alongside Michael Wilkinson on Tron Legacy to modernize the design of the outfits. They sprayed balloon rubber on top of spandex to create a shiny but extremely constricting suit. To achieve their iconic glow, the lighting team used a traditional animation trick known as backlight animation. Some of the suits were even created by using electroluminescent lamps made from a flexible polymer film. Different suits were constructed for different reasons: movement, riding the light cycle, fighting, etc. For Tron Ares, Clark worked with Darren Gilford and Weta in redesigning the suits and bringing them up to standards for the 2020s. You can see that the suit's lines are a little more jagged. The design is a little harder, unfriendlier, says Rønning. But the suits needed to be comfortable and flexible for the actors to move around in and perform some of their stunts. When Jodie Turner-Smith was asked about the costume, she said, "The suit is, in many ways, kind of working against you, so you have to be really mindful. When the actors run, jump, or even get on a wire for stunts, it gets intense, and the suit is quite heavy on their bodies." Turner-Smith mentioned that several of the actors had to go through workout regimens and diets in order to either build muscle or lose weight, depending on their bodies. But this was not because of the stunts necessarily. She says it was so that a lot of them could wear the suits properly. The film's visual effects were provided by several companies, including Industrial Light and Magic, Distillery VFX, Image Engine, Lola VXF, GMUNK, Opsys, and Imaginary Forces. David Seeger served as the film's visual effects supervisor. The team was conscious not to use any AI in the visual effects development of the film. There were over 2,000 VFX shots in the film, and the team worked hard to ensure that the visual digital assets blended well with the coming into the real world. ILM says they treated the process of working on the film like it's a holy grail of computer graphics. The team tried to do as much as they could practically before utilizing computer graphics imaging. For example, for the light cycle scenes in the real world, they had the actual actors riding on the movable light cycle while a truck was connected to it and moved it instead. The truck would later be digitally deleted, but the team then had proxy bikes with light tubes to give a shine as they were driving down the streets. Fans will be happy to know that Tron Ares is available to watch in multiple versions in the theater, like in Dolby 3D and in IMAX, with many critics calling the IMAX version incredible. Star Jared Leto says, "Tron Ares was specifically filmed for IMAX, which is the way it was meant to be experienced. As an homage to the first film that saw a new technological advancement in filmmaking, Rønning wanted to bring something new in this day and age with this film. He has stated in interviews that IMAX is the most immersive experience for the film. When they shot it on IMAX cameras, they expanded the aspect ratio by 50%, taking the quality and size of the frame to new dimensions. They also utilized motion-controlled cameras to create a unique visual experience that enhances the film's dynamic effects on the grid. It was designed as if the lens were operated by a machine rather than a man. The concept was that a program is filming a program, so it's shot by a robot, says Rønning. Before finalizing the film, Rønning added a couple more camera shakes, specifically in the light skimmer chase, when the characters are on the cooling water. At the time, he felt one of those shots felt a little static, so he added some high-frequency shakes to it to make it more dynamic and feel real on the IMAX screen. These are the sort of critical details that directors and key people must make in the final edits to truly bring an immersive experience for their audience. Electronic duo Daft Punk will not return to score the new sequel. Instead, the producers sought out the Oscar, Grammy, Emmy Award duo of Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross to score the sci-fi film. But unlike other projects they've scored, the duo signed on as their rock band, 9 Inch Nails, to provide the score at Disney's behest, a first for them since working on a 90s video game. The duo was approached after completing their work on another Disney film, Soul, which won them an Oscar for Best Original Score. For Rønning, it was important to contrast the grid and the real world, and he believed that 9 Inch Nails, as an industrial rock band, lent itself perfectly to a new and more industrial Tron. For Tron Legacy, Daft Punk provided a more electronic score to match the setting of the grid and its aesthetic. So it's a breath of fresh air to bring something new as the story takes viewers outside the electronic, artificial intelligence world of the grid and into the real world. Like any movie sequel or reboot, there are always returning characters or plot lines, and Tron Ares is no different. Even though this is the first installment in the sci-fi franchise in 15 years, the movie doesn't have any surprise legacy cameos, except for one. Jeff Bridges returns for the threequel, marking his return as Kevin Flynn from the previous 2 movies. Garrett Hedlund, who portrayed his son Sam Flynn, and fan favorite Cillian Murphy, who played Dillinger Jr., do not make a return. And there's a reason for that. I think the story fell into a place where we felt that we didn't need the old characters to be front and center, says Rønning. He and his team wanted to take the story and franchise into a new direction, while also honoring the universe they are in. Producer Justin Springer adds, to just throw cameos in, where it's a parade of people that we love from this franchise, I just feel like it's fan service that doesn't serve the story. While this certainly may be true, it was essential to the team to bring back Bridges, to honor the legacy of the original film and advance the story and franchise forward. Thanks for joining us behind the scenes. We hope you enjoyed getting a closer look at how Tron Ares came together, from the special effects, production design, and even down to its connection to the previous installments in the franchise. If you like this kind of content, let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss what's coming next for Collider Behind the Scenes.